Karen's heels clicked against the Morrisons' driveway like a metronome counting down to disaster. She'd practiced this moment in her bathroom mirror, rehearsing the exact tone of voice that would convey both authority and disappointment. The pink flamingo glared at her with its painted black eyes, as if mocking everything she stood for. "Mr. Morrison," she called, rapping her knuckles against the front door. "HOA business. Open up immediately." Jake appeared in the doorway wearing paint-splattered jeans and a bewildered expression. Behind him, Karen could see moving boxes still stacked in the hallway, family photos propped against walls waiting to be hung. The sight made her even angrier. 2 months was more than enough time to get settled and follow the rules. "Mrs. Whitmore, what can I do for you?" Karen brandished her clipboard like a sword. "This," she pointed dramatically at the flamingo, "ends today." The flamingo. Emma bought that with her allowance. She thought it was funny. Funny? Karen's voice pitched higher. Funny is a violation of Section 4.2 of the Community Covenant regarding lawn ornaments. The maximum height is 16 inches. This monstrosity is 18 inches of pure disrespect for everything this community stands for. Jake glanced at the plastic bird, then back at Karen. "You measured my kid's lawn, flamingo." "I measured everything, Mr. Morrison. That's what responsible community leadership looks like." She pulled out her measuring tape with a flourish. "Would you like me to demonstrate again? Because I will. I absolutely will." Emma appeared behind her father, phone in hand. "Dad, she's seriously freaking out about Flamingo Phil." "Flamingo Phil?" Karen's eye twitched. "You named it." "Yeah, he's like the neighborhood mascot now. Mrs. Henderson says he brightens her day, and Mr. Chen asked where we got him because his granddaughter wants one too." This was not going according to plan. Karen had expected immediate compliance, maybe some stammering apologies. She hadn't expected a teenager to give the violation a name or for other neighbors to express support for it. "I don't care if you've named it, or if it brings joy or any of that nonsense," Karen said, her voice rising. "Rules are rules. Remove it, or I'll have the HOA fine you $50 per day until you comply." $50? Jake's eyebrows shot up. "For a lawn ornament?" "Per day," Karen repeated, savoring the power in those words. "And that's just the beginning. I've documented 17 violations since you moved in, Mr. Morrison." 17. "Your grass height, your mailbox color, those wind chimes." "The wind chimes are my mom's," Emma interrupted. "She died last year. They were her favorite." The statement hit Karen like a physical blow, but she pushed through the uncomfortable feeling in her chest. Emotions had no place in HOA enforcement. "I'm sorry for your loss, but grief doesn't excuse violations of community standards." Jake's expression hardened. "You want me to take down my daughter's memorial to her grandmother. I want you to follow the rules like everyone else." But even as Karen said it, she noticed Mr. Chen shaking his head from his porch. Mrs. Henderson was frowning. A small crowd had gathered, and none of them looked pleased with her. "Tell you what," Jake said slowly. "Give me the exact measurements for everything, every single rule, and I'll make sure we're in compliance." Finally, Karen breathed. "Now you're being reasonable." But Jake continued, his smile turning sharp. "If I'm going to follow every rule exactly, then everyone else should too, right? That's only fair." Something in his tone made Karen's stomach flutter with unease. "Of course, rules apply to everyone equally." "Great. Then you won't mind when I start documenting every violation in the neighborhood, will you? I mean, if we're being fair and all." Karen's clipboard suddenly felt heavy in her hands. "What do you mean?" Jake's smile widened. "Well, for instance, your roses are growing over the property line onto the sidewalk. That's a violation of Section 3.7. Karen Whitmore adjusted her reading glasses and squinted at the fluorescent pink flamingo lawn ornament across the street, her coffee mug trembling in her grip. The audacious bird stood 18 inches tall, exactly 2 inches above the community guidelines she'd memorized by heart. This was it. This was her moment to prove that the Willowbrook Estates Homeowners Association wasn't just a collection of strongly worded letters and passive-aggressive newsletter reminders. She'd been HOA president for 3 years, but today felt different. Today, She would show everyone what real authority looked like. The flamingo belonged to Jake Morrison, the new resident who'd already committed 17 violations in 2 months. She'd been counting. His grass was a quarter-inch too long. His mailbox was the wrong shade of beige, and don't even get her started on the unauthorized wind chimes. This ends now, Karen muttered, marching across the street with her clipboard and measuring tape. She didn't notice Jake's teenage daughter Emma filming from the upstairs window, or the way neighbors had started gathering on their porches, phones in hand. Can't just what? Follow the rules you're so passionate about. Jake pulled out his phone. Don't worry, I've got pictures of everything. Measurements too. Amazing what you notice when you start paying attention. Karen felt the ground shifting beneath her feet. Around her, neighbors were no longer just watching. They were whispering, pointing. Mrs. Patterson looked horrified. Mr. Kumar was already walking toward his basketball hoop. This isn't over, Karen managed, but her voice sounded weak, even to her own ears. You're absolutely right, Jake said. It's just getting started. As Karen retreated to her own driveway, clipboard clutched to her chest. She couldn't shake the feeling that she'd just made a terrible mistake. Behind her, she could hear Emma laughing and neighbors talking in hushed, worried tones. The pink flamingo seemed to watch her go, and for the first time in 3 years as HOA president, Karen Whitmore wondered if she'd finally met her match. But she wasn't giving up, not yet. She had 17 violations documented, and rules were rules. Jake Morrison was about to learn exactly what happened when someone challenged the HOA. What he didn't know was that Karen had been keeping secrets of her own, secrets that went far deeper than measuring tapes and community covenants. And if he wanted to play games, she was ready to show him just how far she was willing to go to protect her perfect neighborhood. The war for Willowbrook Estates had officially begun.